All right, we're live. Send this out.
Ooh. Yeah. We live, all right. I don't know if today's team's alive, but we live.
The game was so bad that Brad had to go into his laundry room at
I
his
did.
in-laws to,
Pacing back,
to escape the terribleness.
pacing back and forth to cool down. You know, I'm, that's what's
No,
sorry.
the
What you think?
Saints drop it
Yeah.
34 nothing. It just ended. It literally just ended. I got the notification from
Oh,
ESPN.
didn't just
34
it
nothing.
a long time ago. It didn't just end. It didn't.
Sorry, the clock ticked to zero just now.
Right. Who? I don't know, man.
So 34 nothing. I know we're supposed to sit down and talk about good and bad things, but I can't think of anything good today.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about bad shit today. Because there wasn't much good. The only thing good I will say is on the first two possessions, you can say the defense looked the same. They looked a lot like that bend don't break, which I don't mind that because
Yeah.
they did bend. They let the Rams get inside the red zone, I believe, on both their first possessions, but they didn't break.
Nope.
And our first drive, we weren't doing bad. Kendre Miller, they were featuring him. He was getting about 4 or 5 yards a pop. We were moving the ball, and then that unnecessary roughness on that guard, right,
Hmm.
killed the freaking drive. And ever since that penalty, it was all downhill
Yeah.
after
It,
that.
it. Yep. It just steamrolled, and it. I mean, second quarter you let off with interception by or with the interception by
Wilson.
Zach Wilson, which Zach Wilson today got the start, had the opportunity to possibly cement himself going into the final game as the number two quarterback, and he just dropped the ball today. I mean, I have his stats right here. He was, come on,
It
ESPN,
wasn't.
don't
It
freeze
wasn't.
on me. No, he was 6 for 12, 55 yards with the interception. It
Yeah.
just
Now the
wasn't
only
good. It's
thing
not like Rattler did better, but
that interception, both interceptions were bad, but on this one,
yeah,
I don't know if it was a wrong route ran. I don't know if
that's
Means
true.
cut to the wrong side because it wasn't close. Because you were like, "What the heck happened there?" But
Yeah,
yeah, that wasn't a good look at all. When he threw that, that was pretty bad. But after he threw that pick, um, I think he ran the wrong route. But after that, as far as Wilson goes, it looked like he was second guessing everything. He had no confidence in his throwing ability. He never tried to
yep.
push the ball downfield. So I think that pick definitely got in his head. Which I mean, you don't want to see that in your quarterbacks because otherwise you're never going to be to push the ball downfield, make chunk plays, and open up the whole playbook. You know,
Yep.
but uh, but yeah, they can't. After that first drive, we couldn't run the ball at all. I mean, at all.
No. I mean, so total by the whole team, they had 26 rushes for 100 yards, 105 yards. Longest
Yeah.
was 9 yards. Kendre led the team with 6 carries for 22 yards. And look,
Yeah,
I'm
that
glad
was
to see
the
Kendre
first
back.
drive. Yeah.
Yep. Mostly on the first
Yeah,
drive, yeah.
honest, you know. But the
Yep.
defense after that, the defense, I thought they were going to bend, not break, but after that, um, they were just running the ball and getting whatever they wanted. We could not stop the run up the middle to save our life.
Yep.
And then once they got into the red zone, it seemed like nobody wanted to play QB spy because Stetson Bennett scored on the same play twice. He rolled out right
Yes.
to the right pylon. Nobody was within 10 yards of him. Nobody was spying on him. It's just you can't have that kind of stuff happen. I'm not saying Stetson Bennett's not an athletic quarterback, but you can't let that happen twice. That's bad.
No. Both roll out to the right side of the field for those touchdowns. You can't let that happen. Not from the quarterback at least.
No.
You gotta play a better line there. It's just overall penalties, coaching. It just all kind of
Yeah, every time you thought we were getting a first down or making a play, it was the amount of illegal formation. I'm like, that's
yeah.
just stupid. That's stupid stuff. And 12 men
Yep.
on the field.
12 men on the field on defense, two in the same game. That's just not good coaching. That's coaching, not players.
Exactly. I mean, that's just terrible. But it makes you wonder. Last week was because the way it started, I thought it was going to be in reverse. I thought that Rattler struggled against twos when he played. Wilson got put in last week against the threes and shined.
Threes look good. Yep.
This day, Wilson got put in against the twos, struggled. And when Rattler came out, they moved the ball on that first drive, and then
the pick six.
I was like, what the F?
That pick six. What are you doing there, Spencer?
I
don't know what he saw. I took a screenshot of what the. I mean, obviously, we'd love to see the all 22, but I took a screenshot of the TV broadcast, and man, I don't know what he saw. Again, the all 22 would actually tell you exactly what he saw when he actually released the ball, because you can't really see that part of the field when he's releasing the ball. But there's 4 Rams and there's 1.5 Saints. I said there was 1 Saint on Twitter, but technically there was 2. There was a guy in the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
so there was a half a Saint.
I don't care if it's 1-on-4. If it's not freaking Calvin Megatron Johnson, you don't throw it. I don't care what it is.
No.
I don't care who you got. But I mean, it's just bad, and to me, that's bad reads, man. And it was happening all long, bad reads. Now, I don't know if it might have been Wilson in the second quarter. They had a guy deep, and I think it was Lance, but because he was getting pressured, he missed it.
Mm-hmm.
He rolled out left on that play, and I can't remember the result of it, but I felt like that was one of our only shots to get back in the game, because it wasn't quite yet a blowout at that point. Overall, overall, it was just a sorry ass day. The only shining point, I will say, and even the shining point had his own mess up, at least it didn't cost us, was who's the running back, 43.
CJ Donaldson.
Donaldson, thank you. Yeah, Donaldson, he looked like he played hard. He's to me, it looks like a big bruising style back, but he also looked like he could catch the ball out of the backfield. Yep. He had a hell of a play going down that left sideline. Now, I don't know if that was just weak tackling, but he stayed on his feet. He made a couple runs where he pushed a pile. He fought for that first down on that 4th down, which was impressive because that was all him. I mean, he fought off of him to get that first down. But he had the one mess up where he's got to hold on that ball on that big 40-yard pass play up the left sideline. You know, he kind of, he was trying to play hero ball at that point. And to his defense, we needed a spark, and I think he tried to provide that. But down there, I think it was right around the 8-yard line, he got tripped up, and then they popped the ball, or I think he just might have, it flew out of bounds.
I think he just lost it. Yeah, it was at the end. He actually put him on the sideline. It looked like they were wrapping his arm, so someone must have got him good on the arm, which caused a fumble. But then you got on that same, I think it was that same drive, Ty Chandler fumbles the ball at the 4-yard line.
He does.
That's another.
Does all the work. Ty Chandler goes on to the right side of the line on a run play, and the guy just punches the ball out free and easy.
Yep. It's just one of those days.
It wasn't our day to win because nothing was going on. Penalties.
And you can't even. And the sad thing about it, you can't even look at this game and think.
Nothing good came from this.
Yeah. No. There's no film you can look at. There's nothing you can really do at this point.
No. You take that flight home with the radio off.
Pretty much.
You just kind of accept your ass whooping, and I don't even know what kind of speech, you give to your team.
You can't even give a speech.
Yeah,
You can't even give a speech on this. Like, I don't even know what the coach does when he goes in the locker room, because these are a bunch of grown men that got their ass kicked.
It is, and and to the coaches, like you said, you could say the coach could shoot their ass for execution, but it's also like with all those penalties. And the 12 men on the field and that kind of stuff, like the coaches need to get their ass chewed too. So it's like you said, just kind of go back to the locker room, pack your shit up, and go home. You didn't do nothing right in any phase or aspect of the game today.
Yeah.
And you were hoping that Rattler was going to bounce back. You were hoping that Wilson was going to continue, and I think that would have solidified Wilson into being the backup. And if Rattler responded healthy, he could have got back on track with his deal, but both of them took huge steps back today.
Yeah, and it gets to the point to where do you even look at this and say, we can't make a decision on really who QB2 is at this point, because y'all both looked awful against this team. We're just going to have to look at that final preseason game and make the determination at that point on who will be QB2 going into the season. I mean, the Saints are going to keep both of them. I do not see a world where they're only going to carry 2. Unless they trade one of them, which I don't see that either, because neither of them have performed enough to where another team is like, I need that for my backup quarterback.
If Wilson played really well, you might have been able to get something for him, but because Rattler, at the beginning of the season, we thought that was going to be Rattler, but with how bad he performed, I think
last week,
that went away. Now, if Wilson would have come out and went, 10 for 12, 80-something yards, 100 yards, touchdown, no picks, no mess-ups, you could have traded him for a pick, or if you would have kept him, you would have been like, okay, I'm comfortable in our backup situation with no problem. But that's the case. They both went out there and got their ass handed to them. Excuse my language.
Definitely.
We couldn't do nothing. We couldn't generate a pass rush, which is, the secondary, everybody, they were starting to get big plays on us, but the secondary was wore out because offense could never do nothing. I mean, it was just a bad overall, like you said, almost so bad where you can't even use it as film or judgment to make.
No, you got to go back to the drawing board and try to get some of that stuff fixed, at least for next week, so you can at least go into cut down day with some good information on your team. Look, these games, they're not making all their decisions in the game themselves. They have all these practices. They have the live practices, the joint practices they've been doing. So we didn't see any offense. We didn't see any starters today, really.
No.
There may be one or two out there, but I don't believe there was very many out there. So it's not like this is the team that's going to be rolling up week 1 in Detroit. But if any of those guys get hurt, this is who's going to play. And it's clear that they are not as good as the Rams backups, which just more solidifies the fact that the Rams are a Super Bowl contending team. Like they're one of the top 3 teams. Yes.
Yeah, they're deep. They got guys that can play. Now, you said it is backups performing against backups, but it also comes to a point where it's like you got to beat what's put in front of you. The Rams did that easily. They made a statement win as far as their backups go today.
Yep.
Our guys, you don't even know. You don't even know what to say. You can't say anything. It's embarrassing.
It is. Just going down the board on some of the team stats. I mean, first downs, they had 28. The Saints only got 13 first downs the whole game. That's just a putrid offense.
That's terrible.
Third down efficiency, time of possession was not that far. It was definitely the Rams, 31 to 28.
Okay.
31 minutes to 20 minutes. So it was a little closer.
That must have been garbage time. I remember at one point it was like 11 to 20 something at one point. So
but shallowed up at the back end. Penalties. I mean, they had 12 for 96 yards, almost 100 yards in penalties.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
You can't win like that. You put that on top of 3 turnovers. You're not winning the game. Doesn't matter what team's out there.
You gave them a touchdown in penalties, and then you left at least 15 points on the board with our 2 turnovers where they were at.
Correct. Not only that, but you gave them 7 because of the pick 6.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got that's 14 to 21 point swing. That's huge.
Yep.
You can't have those type of games. Thank God it's preseason, and hopefully they can get it out. But I was hoping to see a lot from Emerson today and Price, the other corner, because they were really promising. And I'm not going to say they had terrible games, but they were picking on Emerson in that first quarter big time.
They were.
He was playing hard. He did give up like a few plays here and there, but overall, like you said, they didn't break on that drive, which I was happy with. But towards the end of the game, when they had Price in there and whatnot, and it could have just been the status of the in game, but everybody's wind was taken out of them. They were letting bounce off of them for tackles, and once you're getting your ass kicked that bad, you could tell when the wind's just out of guys, and you can just pack it up as a fan and go home or flip to the next game or go make you a freaking sandwich, whatever you got to do to get out of that.
Well, shit, we were supposed to start 5 or 10 minutes after the game, but we started 5 minutes before the game ended because there was no game left. I mean, they had the ball. I think they got down to the 20-yard line. The offense did before the clock ran out on them. But I mean, the game, it's just not even worth bothering at that point.
No, that was rough. They need to go back to the drawing board. Hopefully you see some improvements on Dallas.
Yeah.
On Friday. But no, they definitely need to get back to the drawing board and figure out what they want, because with the shortened preseason up, all those guys that played today, those are guys fighting for jobs. They need they need to put up or shut up. You got 1 game left to possibly make this roster.
It's true. There's a lot of guys today that had an opportunity to separate themselves, and they were unable to. I mean, look at the pass rush, the defensive line. I mean, they couldn't get to either of the quarterbacks today.
No, they couldn't get to the quarterbacks. Our backup defensive line couldn't get a pass rush, couldn't stop the run, bouncing off of linebackers. Overall it was sad. We couldn't get a run game going ourselves, so that speaks a lot to our backup offensive line. They can't create holes. At one point, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish it.
I was saying, like, you couldn't create a run game, so then receivers couldn't get open. Everybody was just off, and they couldn't get separation. Bad reads. Overall is just a grade A ass whooping as far as football game goes.
It was. Yeah, luckily it's preseason. The Saints are 0-2 now in the preseason, but again, doesn't really matter. These games don't truly matter that much. What they need to look at coming out of this is the coaching staff needs to tighten some things up. Obviously, if you can't have 12 penalties for 96 yards, that's just you're not going to win football games doing that.
No.
But you also can't have 12 men on the field on defense. Like, that's just unacceptable. And maybe it's because the players are inexperienced, and the guys are confused on the play calls and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, it's the coach's responsibility not to have that happen, not the players. It's not the players' responsibility.
To touch on that too, I think they also had 2 illegal formations. One of them, 4th down in inches, which you could see.
That's true too. Yeah.
Time I ever saw Kellen Moore remotely
angry, yes,
because he had to walk off down the sidelines a good 15 yards to cool off, because it's like you call a timeout. It's 4th and inches. You call a timeout, make sure we got the right play in there. And then Donaldson fights for his life to get a 1st down, and it's a freaking illegal formation.
Yep.
That's just uncalled for. You can't come out of a penalty on a 4th and inch and end up getting – I'm sorry. You can't come out of a timeout on 4th and inches and get a penalty where you shoot yourself.
Illegal formation.
That's horrible. But
and with that illegal formation, I didn't see who it was on. Did you see who it was on? I didn't catch who it was on.
I didn't either. I just seen illegal formation. I think I got up off the couch and I was like, oh my god,
it's over.
Yeah, I was at that point like, this is a joke.
Yeah. Like we said, this is just a game you're gonna throw away. It is what it is. They got their ass whipped on the road. I hope they enjoyed their time in California. They fought the Cowboys earlier in the week. They played with the Rams in the joint practice later. So
that Cowboy was like a heavyweight bout. They might have been
they had like eight individual fights.
8 fights.
10 maybe. I don't remember. It was like 8 or 10 fights. They used all their energy up. They used all their energy up whipping the Cowboys' ass in practice.
But yeah, hopefully they can tighten up. It's a short week, being that the last preseason game's on Fridays. But these guys are traveling, so it's not going to be much time to get comfortable before you got the last chance to prove yourself to probably make the squad. So they need to put up or shut up right now in these next 5 days or so.
Definitely.
So
yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. There really isn't much to talk about. I really don't even want to do 3 up, 3 down, who was good, who was bad, because we probably would just do
who was good.
90. There's 90 players on the team. 90. It's a 90 down.
That's right.
They're all bad. They all going down today.
Yeah.
I can't think of one player that actually stood out as a positive. The kickers didn't even get really an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I didn't even like the way Chase Young and A-Chain were sitting on the bench on the sidelines, looking uninterested. I didn't even like that. But,
they all should be running sprints.
That's right.
No.
Suicide all day.
Suicides go. But yeah, we're going to wrap this one up. I don't have really any final thoughts. This game was awful. Let's just throw this down in the trash can and forget about it. And we'll just move on to next week against the Cowboys. And we'll find out if any of these players that are fighting for these back-end roster spots, that game gets interesting in the 3rd and 4th quarter. You got those players out there trying to make the roster. So
100%.
We'll see where things land, and we'll go from there.
Thank y'all for joining us. Like and subscribe.
We'll catch y'all later.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace out.